We did hydroelectric dams. I did history. Some of the earliest innovations in using water power were conceived in China during the Han Dynasty from 2002 BC to 9 AD. The world's first hydroelectric project was used to power a single lamp in the Craigside Country House in northern Berlin, England, in 1878. 4 years later, the first plant to serve a system of private and commercial customers was opened in Wisconsin, USA. Within a decade, hundreds of hydroelectric plants were in operation. In 1895, the world's largest hydroelectric development of the time, the Edward Dean Adams Power Plant, was created at Niagara Falls. In the first half of the 20th century, the United States and Canada led the way in hydropower engineering. Over the last few decades, Brazil and China have become world leaders in hydropower. The Itaipu Dam, straddling Brazil and Paraguay, opened in 1984. Then China opened its Three Gorge Dam in 2008. Hydropower has continued to catalyze growth around the world. One example of its technology of expanding across the world is it has played a key role in transforming Brazil into the 7th largest country by GDP, recorded in 2012.
So for technology, water has to move with great speed and volume to spin a turbine, which rotates a generator to create electricity. So it starts in this reservoir, it can be known as like falling water, streaming water, and it goes through an intake, which can also be described as a penstock. And it goes down through here and into the turbine, which spins, and it goes into the generator, causing the magnets to rotate, producing electricity throughout homes and other buildings. And to increase the volume of its water, dams are built to collect the water, and it drops water through like these openings, and they flow through different lakes and streams.
Availability of resources. Hydropower dams is America's largest source of clean, renewable electricity. It accounts for 52% of the nation's renewable electricity. Over the past few years, the Department of Energy has been exploring the untapped hydroelectric power that exists across the U.S. Hydropower keeps lights on in these 10 states: Washington, Oregon, New York, California, Alabama, Tennessee, Montana, Idaho, North Carolina, and Arizona. Countries currently using hydroelectric power are United States, Canada, Brazil, and China. The best geographical location is the United States because of its high levels of technology and plentiful supply of rivers.
Some major benefits of the hydroelectric dams is that it's a renewable resource since it's just using water from large bodies of water. They don't generate toxic byproducts or any pollutants since it's just water. There's no fossil fuels being burnt or such. It's also a clean and cheap energy source to build and use.
Then some future uses. The main issue that will affect the future growth of hydroelectricity are related to the environment and human displacement and their resettlement. Another problem is the ecological imbalance created by its downstream and its effect on the water current. Another important issue is the placement of human beings from their native landscapes occupied by them and their ancestors since the centuries, and their proper resettlement. There's still great potential for tapping into power from water across the United States and across the world. But before building these new power plants, those questions that I just listed up top have to be answered first. The total amount of power obtained from hydroelectric power plants has increased by about 18% in the last 10 years from 1995 to 2005. The overall increase in power production from various sources throughout the world during the same time period has been about 37%. Although not everyone is in favor of having hydroelectric power, India, after the construction of major plants of Narmada Savara project, the protesters were still going on mainly because of the resettlement issues and not being dealt with properly, and kind of being forgot about and not worried and treated very well. But some of the villages still are covered under this project.
But even though there's many benefits that come with it, there's also risks, and it's a pretty rare risk, but flooding can cause a bad environmental impact. It can destroy forests, wildlife habitats, and other areas of land. Some global warming emissions are produced during installation and takedown of these power plants whenever they're not used. One major far stretch risk is it could cause tension between countries if one river is flowing into another. It could alter the flow of the river, but overall they're reliable and stable resources to use, and multiple nations use these.